Hello everyone. Today I'll take you on a tour of this 2022 Lexus RX350 and show you why it's one of the most popular and one of the most best mid-size SUVs on the market. The Lexus RX has been an icon for many decades and it's still one of the best SUVs around. Thank you to Lexus of Bellevue for providing me with this 2022 Lexus RX350. They have all the latest Lexus models, and if you're in the market for a new Lexus, check them out in the Bellevue area. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with this infotainment system in the middle here. And contrary to popular belief, it doesn't solely rely on the Lexus touchpad. It's also a touchscreen. So the latest RX models have a touchscreen built into the infotainment system. So you can see over here, if I tap the navigation map, that'll show up the map. If I tap the music, that'll take me to my music. I can look at my trip information. I also have some climate controls in here, though I also have physical climate controls, which is great. Also, another thing to note is that this car can display multiple things at once. I really like this feature. Some cars don't allow this. This car does. You can see you can tap like the side panel, make it go away, or you can tap the button again, it'll come back, so you can see multiple pieces of information at once. The screen is also pretty responsive. It is getting a little bit old, but there is a brand new RX coming in 2023. So for the 2022 RX, it's still a pretty good screen. And I really like the functions that the screen offers. Also down here, you can see there are a few buttons that you can press. For example, hitting the menu button will take you to a couple of different options. You can look at apps, your navigation, phone, audio, etc. So let's go ahead and tap apps. So apps will go ahead and take you to the app suite. And right now, because this is a brand new vehicle, there isn't any app information because I haven't connected it to internet and like downloaded any applications, but it still has a lot of apps available, and it's a very nice infotainment system. I really like the way Lexus has done this infotainment system, and it's nice to know it's a touchscreen as well. Once again, you also do have the Lexus touchpad, and you can use that for functions as well. You can see there it is. There I am navigating the map. It behaves almost like, you can see, there you go, I'm just navigating up and down, and I can go ahead and enable functions. And so it works kind of like a computer trackpad, and it's pretty good. It's not too bad. One nice feature that this car has is this analog clock. I really like the analog clock. Kind of brings like this old school, comfortable, luxury vibe, and I really like kind of like those old school, comfortable cruisers. It's nice to see that analog clock in the middle here. It looks gorgeous, like the Lexus logo in the middle. It just looks beautiful. I really like that analog clock. Makes it look classier. Below that analog clock, you have a pretty older layout, and personally, I wish that some of these features could get a comeback in newer cars. For example, like these physical buttons. It's nice having all these buttons right there for you to use. For example, temperature. You can adjust right that from here. You have your fan speed, recirculating air. Everything is right there. It's just so simple. Many modern cars integrated in the screen. Not this car. I like that. Also, it's nice to have a CD player. Many cars have gone with the CD players, and this car still has one. Once again, reminding of that old school kind of nature. I really like that. Also, these dials, they look beautiful. Look at that power dial. That's very gorgeous. There's the tuner dial. Very, very beautiful look in this car. Very, very, very nice. The materials and just like the finishes are very good in here. But overall, I just personally like the way that the car looks. It just has this old school kind of luxury layout. I wish some of these features could get a comeback, like I mentioned earlier. So down here, there's also a wireless charger, and this car actually has a button to turn on and off the wireless charger. So there's a power button right there. There you go. The wireless charger is off, and turn it on again, which is nice. Nice having that power button. It's a Qi wireless charger, as you can see over there, and in here you also have two USB ports if your phone doesn't support wireless charging, and there's also a 12-volt outlet right next to it. Behind that, you have an electronic parking brake, and you have your heated seats. It's an interesting spot. It's right behind the gear lever. It would be nicer if it were a bit up here with the other climate controls, but no, it's right behind the gear lever. However, you do have heated and ventilated seats, which is nice to have. You have an electronic parking brake, and you have a classic old school gear lever. Nice seeing that still in this car. Looks pretty good. Even with the old school gear lever, Lexus did find ways to incorporate two cup holders so you can still hold your drinks You have that Lexus touchpad, and you also have the center armrest. So in here, we have a couple of items. You can see you have an upper storage area. We also have a lower storage area, 2 more USB ports, and a headphone jack, and yet another 12-volt outlet. So it's a pretty busy center console, and it's nice having all those features. This is one of my very favorite features in this car, and that's the rear seatbelt indicator. I'm surprised more manufacturers haven't done this, but it's so useful to just be able to look down here and see which of your rear passengers are buckled in, so you don't have to turn around and check who's buckled in. It's just right there. It's very simple. I really like that feature. It's nice seeing it in this car. One other thing I wanted to mention was the drive mode dial. So here you can change your drive mode. You also do have like stability control off and other functions down there. But the more important thing is the drive mode dial. So it does give a couple of special animations in the gauge cluster screen here. See if I press it down, it's on normal right now. Twisting it to the right changes it to sport mode. Twisting it to the left changes it to eco mode. There's also an animation in the main screen. So there's eco mode. I can change it to normal mode. Not sure if I put it in normal mode. I believe I did. I can change it to sport mode. There you go. And here's eco mode again. So there you go. Nice to see those animations as well. So in the middle here, we have a smaller gauge cluster screen. It's not a full screen like newer models, but that's because this is an older Lexus model, so it comes with the small screen in the middle. However, I kind of like the layout. It's still a very nice gauge cluster layout here. I like the old school dials. Once again, gives that old school kind of luxury feeling. And in here, you can control it on the gauge cluster screen using the steering wheel. So here's this button. I can press that button, and I can just use the steering wheel controls to adjust whatever. So you can see there's my music. I can keep going. No messages here. A couple of other vehicle settings. There's my navigation. It includes a compass, as you can see, and some information as well. So nice seeing this gauge cluster screen in the middle. It's very nice to have that for some extra information. I also very much like the steering wheel. There you go. You can see the steering wheel is nice looking. I really like that Lexus logo in the middle. Looks pretty good. And also the steering wheel, just overall very comfortable and grippy. A nice steering wheel. Alright, so next up I wanted to talk about the vehicle key, and it's a very nice looking key. I can't take it out of the Ziploc cover because the dealership provided me in this, and so I'm not going to take it out. But overall, it's still a pretty nice looking key here. And once again, simplicity is a big theme in this car, and the key is no different. You can see lock, unlock, trunk, and alarm. That's it. Very simple key layout, and I kind of like that. It's not very fancy. It allows you to just quickly access a function if that's what you're looking for. One nice touch in the sides of the car, you can see this wood finish. Looks very beautiful, and it's carried throughout most of the car. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the back seat in this car. I'm 5'7" tall, and I have a good amount of room back here. This seat is almost all the way back, and I still have a very good amount of legroom behind that front seat. In here, you also have no hump in the middle. It's excellent to have no hump. This allows a pretty comfortable middle seat. Actually, it's not very tight in here. It's very comfortable middle seat. Also, the back doors, you can see very nice over here. The wood finishes on the back as well. You also have a speaker over there and another speaker on the bottom. So very nice back door panel. Overall, the back seat is very comfortable. Also, you can see this very nice leather seat in the back. Very comfortable looking. Down here, hopefully you guys can see this. There are 2 USB Type A ports for the rear passengers to enjoy, alongside the 2 air vents. Also in here, we have the center armrest. So if I press this button, that'll go ahead, give me a couple of cup holders and a center armrest, which is also another good feature to have. So another nice feature that I like in this car is the fact that it has reclining back seats. So many cars don't offer this feature, but this one does. You can see I can press this button and that'll fold down the seat, or I can recline it. I need 2 hands to really recline it effectively. But as you can see here, you can recline the back seats in this car. It's a very nice feature to have. I really like reclining back seats. It helps a lot with my motion sickness, and that helps quite a bit. Nice to have reclining seats in the back of this car. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the tailgate and cargo area of the RX350. So all you have to do is, under the Lexus logo, you have a button here. Go ahead, open up the tailgate, and in here there's a pretty good amount of space. There is a sloping roofline, so you do need to be careful of that. But on that, there's still a very nice large amount of space in here. It goes very deep. There are also two handles to fold down the rear seats. You can see that folded down the rear seat, and that helps as well. Also, underneath the cargo floor, there's also a little bit of extra storage and a spare tire. Many companies are doing away with the spare tire, but Lexus, they continue to have a spare tire. You also have a cargo cover if you want to keep your cargo not visible to the outside. So very nice cargo area in the back. So another nice feature that this car has is its smart keyless entry system. So in here you can see the car's locked right now. If I put my hand behind the handle, it unlocks the car. I can get inside, and if I tap this area, there you go, the car's locked, and I can go on my way. Alright, so next up, let's go ahead and talk about this car's styling. I really like the way this generation of RX looks. It's just very clean and simple. The sloping roofline, the overall design just makes it look elegant and nice. It's just a very good looking vehicle overall. Let's go ahead and look at some other styling elements that this car has that I personally like. So one feature I like in this car, that the one exterior styling element, is the daytime running lamps. It looks really nice. I really like this L shape, and it follows that L shape because it's a Lexus, and Lexus obviously starts with an L, so the whole Lexus vehicle is defined with these L shapes. It looks really nice, and I also like the grille. Many people do complain that the grille is big and blah blah blah, but I don't really see a problem with it. It looks good. I think it goes well with the shape of the car. There's no other grille that Lexus could really use that flows well with the other components in this car. The front end design itself looks quite nice. So another thing I've mentioned are these wheels. They look really good. You can see in here we have these dual 5-spoked wheels. They look quite nice, and they fit the aesthetic with this car very well. So coming around back of the RX350, once again, ADL taillight design looks very nice. Once again, flows with the Lexus L, and it looks pretty good. The turn signals, by the way, are halogen turn signals, just to let you know. Alright, so lastly, let's go ahead and pop under the hood of the Lexus RX350, and under here we have, let me go ahead and open this up. So under here we have a 3.5 liter 295 horsepower V6 engine. Toyota and Lexus are known for their reliable V6 engines. This one's no exception. It's gonna go for hundreds of thousands of miles, and it's a very, very dependable powertrain. This one's never gonna die. It's very, very good, and also has a good amount of power to drive this car. A very nice engine under here, so like the Lexus logo, and also everything else under the engine bay looks quite nice. It's made into an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it also has paddle shifters. So let me go ahead, show you those paddle shifters on the car. See, they're right there. You have paddle shifters if you want to shift manually. So it's nice seeing that this car has paddle shifters if you really want to go fast with the vehicle. So that's the 2022 Lexus RX 350. This car is an excellent midsize SUV that you guys should consider, especially if you're for that old school classic luxury look. It's a throwback to the past era of luxury cars, and I really like it. It's just a great, fun, enjoyable vehicle. I think it would be an excellent, comfortable cruiser for the streets. The new RX is a very nice vehicle, and if you're in the market for a midsize SUV that's gonna be dependable and you can keep for a long time, this car is probably the one to pick.